Welcome to the ITM Podcast.
This is episode 265 of the ITM Podcast, the official Boston Red Sox podcast of the CLNS Media Network, brought to you by Prospects, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network and the Boston Red Sox. Say it, Scott.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say. They signed. They lost Nick Pivetta, and it's like
They signed Alex Bregman. They've done it. They did something. We have something good to talk about. It hasn't been, I guess the crochet news is the last time we had something really great to talk about, but goddamn, does that feel like a long fucking time ago? They did it, Scott. They did it. We have already recorded this episode. We are re-recording this episode because the news broke about an hour after we stopped, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right. Enough where we were like on to other things where it wasn't easy to just get back.
Yeah, just enough time had passed where it was like, oh, like the Pivetta news broke 5 minutes after. And we were like, damn, that's crazy. That's the big drop for the night. Incorrect. Let me give you guys a little recap on the episode that you're going to never hear. Man, they really should sign Bregman or Arenado. That's me. And then Scott goes, either or. And I'm like, yeah, either one's fine with me. And Scott's like, Bregman's obviously better. He's a better player. It's a better sign. It makes way more sense. Like, get Bregman. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, obviously I'd prefer Bregman, but I just want them to do one of the two. God, it would be a failure if they didn't do either one. And Scott's like, yeah, I mean, I would see Arenado as like not a failure, but like I'd be disappointed. And here we are. They did kind of exactly what we said. We're like 3 years with 2 opt-outs sounds fucking great. If he would take that, do it. Did I think it would take $40 million a year to do it? No. But it did. And that's okay with me. I'm okay with John Henry opening his wallet. Hell yeah. They're over the luxury tax right now, are they not?
I was just about to say that. They are. They are. That's the most insane thing.
They're over the luxury tax.
Do you know what the Tigers offered?
I heard the Tigers offered 174.
171.5 over 6 years.
171 over 6.
The Cubs offered 4 years, 120. So he really did just want to play for the Red Sox, as weird as that sounds. Like,
and the fucking Astros offered 156.
Like, there's this idea that like he's betting on himself, but like 171.5 million over 6 years is like, that's the big deal you wait for, you know? It might not be quite what he thought he was going to get, but I don't know. I like this. I like this a lot. The opt-outs say that maybe not necessarily like the absolute goal, but like, you know, 28.5 million over 6 years versus 40 million for 3. I don't know. It's interesting. It feels that's kind of cool that he seemingly wanted to play for Boston.
That dude, I was texting a buddy after, and because not a baseball, he's like a baseball casual fan. Yeah. And he said, he's like, tell me how big this is. And I explained, you know, the short-term thing, the opt-outs, you know, whatever, but like that Bregman was the best free agent left and fills an obvious hole, leadership role, usher in the next era, whatever. But I ended the text by saying, like, the biggest thing here is that he was offered more other places and chose to come to Boston. We talked on the episode that you guys will never hear that Nolan Arenado has been very vocal behind the scenes about how he wants to come to Boston. It wasn't that he, you know, obviously he wants out of St. Louis, but he negated the Houston trade, wanted Boston specifically, and apparently has been nonstop talking about Boston in particular. Kind of hard to believe that this is not a similar situation.
He's screwed, by the way. Nolan Arenado.
I'm so sorry. Rest in peace, Nolan Arenado. That's going to suck. That's going to really suck.
Maybe
get him too. Who cares?
Houston. Maybe he'll go to Houston now. That's not the point of the show, but it's maybe
it's not. Yeah.
Now, but like I don't know. Maybe that door.
I will say this about the deal. First of all, stoked that there's 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter.
And I think it kind of does because $40 million Like
Yeah,
Alex Bregman,
he'd have to have a damn good year.
that's the thing. Like,
It's a
I
win-win.
think it's guaranteed he's here for 2 years. I think. Like, he would have to have such a good year to leave 2 years, $80 million on the table.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, actually. Because either he is, a good to whatever player and he opts in because it's obviously the best deal, or he has like a MVP type loan season and opts out. But even in that scenario, I mean, hell, he could win the MVP this year, and 280 is still at his age. I don't know. Yeah, it's a great point to think about. It really is.
Because like that's the thing is like he could very well like if he puts up like let's say he finishes like let's say he has like a Jaron Duran kind of year, like top 10 MVP voting, right?
Yeah.
What's the max deal that he gets somewhere? 150?
Yeah, probably. Maybe 6, 171.5.
Is it like 6 after this year? So like up to his age 38 season?
Yeah, probably not.
Like you start to get into like what's the max he could even get? Like it probably isn't that 150, 160 range.
He's also 1, 2, 3 years away from this is the point in the career where I need to take short-term deals with high AAVs anyway.
Yep.
Like that you saw like Sherman and Verlander, they're on the pitcher side of things. But like
you call him Sherman?
What?
Did you call him Sherman?
I think I said Scherzer, but I don't.
Oh, okay. There, go on. Sorry.
Scherzer.
Give me a giggle. Sorry.
Honestly, maybe I did. I've been doing a lot of weird. I've been just saying things wrong lately. But Scherzer, Verlander started to do those like 1 year, $40 million deals, which at the time was like that is insane. I will say, the number caught me off guard. I did not expect this. I think we talked on the show that will be lost. I think I mentioned 390, actually. That's exactly what I mentioned with opt-outs. And he got quite a bit more than that.
I said the Pete Alonso deal. I said 274. Yeah. I was like, do that same thing, like front load it so that like he's willing to take the 1 year and then he guaranteed opts out. As far as I can see, I haven't seen anything to dispute this. I imagine it's 40-40-40.
There is deferred money, but probably.
Yeah, I saw that it's like 10 plus, like actually per year. First of all, the Red Sox deferring money.
Yeah.
Learning. They're learning.
It doesn't matter. Like you don't have to pay. It becomes less valuable down the road. They can say they got $40 million a year and it's still not. Like that. That's why that makes so much sense. It's not like the NFL and cap space, which is also fake, but it's harder to figure out. This is just straight up just take whatever money you were supposed to give him, put it in some sort of investment, and it will pay itself. Whatever. Yeah. That works better for, again, if it's, I don't know if it's deferred 10 years or if it's deferred in a shorter amount of time, but if it's one of those like in 35 you start paying, like that's when you just do the investment thing and it's free money.
I mean, have you seen how much money like Steve Cohen has made since the Juan Soto deal? I know obviously they're different people, Cohen and John Henry, but like
a lot.
Especially if you do defer this for let's say 5 years, you've made more than 120 million spare. I mean, I hope to God this just works clean for them. One, so they're incentivized to keep spending, but also like the deferment, the deferment works clean, everything goes smooth according to plan. Because once everybody finds out how great deferred money is, everybody's going to be doing it. And it's really just the Dodgers and the Red Sox. That's incredible to say back to back like that. It's just the Dodgers and the Red Sox that have done it. Unless there's someone I'm forgetting.
I don't remember if the Mets did it at all, but I feel like they may have.
There's none deferred on the Soto deal.
That's crazy. That's right.
Yeah.
Was it? No, it wouldn't have been Alonso. Who else did they get? Is that it? They got pitchers, but maybe they deferred that, but it would have been irrelevant money. I don't know. It would have been like a. Anyway, regardless.
I
It's
think what I was
exciting.
saying is like I think it's split up 40-40-40, which says it's not front loaded to like guarantee you're here for a year. It's like, hey, we got a lot of money on the table for you all 3 years.
I
So like
actually hope it's backloaded because
that'd be fucking great.
that would imply he's more likely to stay. Not crazy backloaded, like couple million, like
Yeah.
34 and then 42, whatever, something like
Yeah.
that.
I mean
Or
30, 40, 50.
yeah, that would be yeah.
That'd be kind of crazy.
That actually would be kind of sick.
That'd actually be kind of stupid, actually, now that I say that, to pay
No,
$50
I
million to stick around.
kind of like it though.
Sure. Just for a vet. I'm all about this. I am so all about this. I
Oh
can't
my
believe
God.
I ever thought Arenado was the move.
No, I was just gonna ask you, now that Bregman is signed, can you admit that this was a coping situation with you with Arenado?
I wanted just one of them. That I really did get to
Yeah,
a point where I'm like, God damn it, please get one.
yeah,
But on the lost episode, we're just going to keep referencing it. I there was this point that I made that I want to make again. That was like, when your team is bad, everybody plays GM. That's just like how it goes. Everybody says, oh, they should do this, they should do that, they should pay this guy, they should trade this. Would you say yes to this trade package? What about this one? Whatever. And what got lost in the whole Arenado Bregman conversation was like, one of these players is better than the other.
yeah.
And
Notably.
is younger and like has prime years ahead of, like, it just got lost in there.
Yeah,
And like seeing all the graphics and like the lineup cards and everything that's come out in the last hour and a half since this news has dropped, it's like there wouldn't be the same oomph to it if it's at Arenado instead of Bregman. Like seeing
no,
no, seeing
101
like
OPS plus last year.
yeah, and like who knows what's in store now? God bless him.
Everyone
But
just, again, one of the things I said, everyone just says, "Oh, Mike Lowell." That doesn't
yeah,
mean he's going to be like Mike Lowell. That's not how that works. His bat
I can
speed
think
was
of one
trash.
single example. So
Yeah, there was two things. This is what I want to bring up. People bring up that there have been declines in both players. The difference outside of age is that Arenado's decline has been bat speed related and just really bad underlying metrics. If you look at Bregman's stats last year, the difference was that he like walked less, which is so controllable and not based on age. If his OPS drop had to do with his on base percentage, had to do with his walks. His batting average was the same. His pop was actually a little better. He had more doubles, more home runs. It was purely that he walked less. And again, that's completely controllable and not related to a decline age wise. That is just a down year for some reason. So that's a much better investment. Again, now it's a much bigger investment than I expected, but like that's the guy you want to bet on over the guy who has the declining bat speed if you're going to bet on a guy bouncing back. And then also you add that Fenway Park is going to be better for him. It would have been better for Arenado too. I'm not saying it would have been, but I don't know if you've seen the Bregman stuff that's come out in the last 24 hours. There's one guy that has a higher on base percentage than Ted Williams. Oh, there's one guy that has been there on base percentage and Alex Bregman at Fenway
yep.
Park with minimum 95.
Well, I think I know who it is.
Williams.
I think
Yeah,
I know who it.
Ted Williams. Yeah.
I was gonna say Ted Williams.
I'm pissed at myself for that. That was Jay Hay, by the way.
Yeah, it sounds like him.
And he
It's a
hit.
good nug. Good nug.
Yeah, it is. And hit 311 at Fenway. He's good.
He's good. He's good. Yeah. So you're bringing up stats and hard numbers. Allow me to posit some vibe for you.
Okay, throw it in there.
I'm going to read a lineup card to you real quick.
All right.
Jarren Duran, Alex Bregman, Rafael Devers, Tristan Casas, Trevor Story, Masataka Yoshida, Will Abreu, Connor Wong, Ceddanne Rafaela.
Yeah, no, and I love that Devers stays at third, Yoshida stays as the DH.
Yep.
I think you look into I know he's off the board now. I'm really upset about it. As dumb as it sounds, you look into a Randall Grichuk like platoon DH situation. As bad as it's, maybe you just wait. Honestly, you probably just wait for one of the prospects. Maybe
I
make that
mean,
work somehow.
I
But
mean, you add Roman Anthony as your fourth outfielder here,
yeah,
and like, are you kidding me?
Christian Campbell is Barry Bonds.
I mean, the thing is too, like you can very well slide Rafaela into an extra infielder slot as you put Anthony out there, and or keep him as the fourth outfielder and have Christian Campbell fill that role. You know,
It
platooning
gets
with
complicated with
Story or
Bregman.
whatever. There's so many options, and this is the correct fit. Like we
Yeah.
doing the puzzle piece shit with Arenado was a headache and a half, and I hated it, all of it. I hated that getting Arenado meant trading Tristan Casas. That made no fucking sense to me ever. Now you don't have to worry about any of it. You got a second baseman, Von Grissom. What did he say? He's like, if they don't like me, fuck it, I'll play somewhere else or something.
That was the gist of it. It was insane.
It
It
was
was
an
an
insane
insane.
quote.
Yeah.
It's been
And
brushed under the rug since, but it shouldn't
that
be.
may be the case now. I don't know though. The thing is, like, the reason why everyone's always like, not that anyone's upset about it right now, the
Mhm.
Bregman signing, but the points against making a notable acquisition, especially one that's more than 1 year, is like, oh well, you're log jamming and whatever. May I remind you how many games they play this season? It's 162, and that's if they stink. It could be more. And now it's looking like, weirdly, might be more likely than not that it's more than 162. We'll get it. That's crazy to think about separately. But there will be injuries. And you add an Alex Bregman, and you have this panic thing where you go, oh, well, now Roman Anthony and Christian Camp, where are they going to slide in? Well, they're going to slide in when, I don't know, Cedeno Rafaela stubs his toe, or, Trevor Story does what he does, which for the Red Sox has been getting injured. And I hope that doesn't happen. But they're not going to go a full season without IL stints, and there will be reasons, spots that open up. There will be a point where somebody goes down, and you go, wow, if Christian Campbell was our starting second baseman, we wouldn't be able to call him up right now and to replace a bat. So it's not a bad thing to have depth, and that's something that I feel like is getting overlooked when people are looking at the fully healthy roster in February. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be a good thing because when those points we got to in seasons past, where you're like, oh, the Red Sox just signed Dom Smith and Garrett Cooper to replace Tristan Casas because there's literally no one left. Like, there's now going to be an option where if Bregman goes down, Christian Campbell comes up. It's like, oh, that wasn't as bad of a drop off as years past as we've seen. This
Yeah.
isn't Jonathan Arise or whatever. That's a good
Arauz.
whatever, man.
I almost bought his batting helmet live on this show once.
Glad you didn't. You're probably glad you didn't.
I'm very glad I didn't. The 2023 preseason playoff odds from Fangraphs is 2023. The Red Sox had a 34.4% chance of making the postseason.
That is higher than it should have been.
In 2024, it was 22.9%. Today, it is 57.5.
They've already accounted for Bregman?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that.
If you're trying to bet on a sports book, which you shouldn't do, minus 135 to make the postseason.
Favorited. More likely than not. That's what they're
More
saying.
likely than not that they make the postseason.
I mean, they added an ace and an impact bat.
They did it. Listen, the offseason is a hard A. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Garrett Crochet and Alex Bregman, Walker Buehler.
Yeah.
Like
I
you
forgot
lost,
about Walker Buehler, which is crazy.
and Sandoval, which like kind of matters for the second half to have just like
Maybe.
another starter.
Yeah, if he plays.
It's Giolito's back. How about that? I mean, that's not really an offseason acquisition, but how about that? People forget about that.
There was a point. I don't know how much of if anything is going to come in from the last show, but I was at the Super Bowl. Talked about it a lot when we had nothing to talk about earlier.
Yep.
And there's a guy Nick Goody. He played for a bunch of teams. He was at Radio Row. He was on Cleveland for a while, where he had a really good season. He'd been bounced around. We were just talking about just the Red Sox and baseball, and Motts was near me, and he was like, "Who's we're talking about the Red Sox are better this year," and he was like, "Who's that guy that's coming back?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "There was a guy that was injured, and then like he's coming back, like he's a pitcher, and he's coming back this year." And I was like, "Hendricks," and he's like, "Not him," and I was like, "There's nobody else." And then we like moved forward, and he was like, "Giolito," and I was like, "Yep, yeah, forgot about
Yeah.
that. You're right. Yeah, we do have Lucas Giolito. Like
It's
that is just
so
one of those
easy to
things."
forget.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Like,
he
I
was
guess
explaining this, and I was like, "There's nobody. You're not talking about it." I was like, "Patrick Sandoval just signed." I was like, "That's not this year." And then he was like, eventually he like looked it up or something. He was like, "It's Giolito," and I was like, "You're right. That's my fault."
it's crazy because like you can't give them credit for that. Like they didn't, they acquired Giolito last year. I don't know, but so it's kind of cumulative, but it's really not. Like we're just talking about like this
Still,
offseason.
yeah.
They did everything they added 2.5 pieces to their rotation. If you count Sandoval as a half, they added one, maybe 2 pieces to their bullpen. One.
Chapman, two, if you count Justin Wilson, who is a closer. So you got to.
1.5 pieces to the bullpen.
He's our closer.
And added a right-handed impact bat to fill the Tyler O'Neill slot.
And also a guy that's much less injury prone
and actually plays a position you need.
Yeah, and very good defensively. Just an all around. Like the thing about Bregman, I've been saying all year or off season is just that like he's good to great at everything. Like that's what I love about Alex Bregman. He is going to play good defense. He's going to be okay on the bases. He's going to be hitting for decent. He's going to get on base. He's going to hit 269 probably like he does every year. Maybe it'll be higher at Fenway, but he's also going to walk a lot. He doesn't strike out. He's going to hit 20-ish home runs, maybe a little more. He'll hit a decent amount of doubles, and if I didn't say it already, good defense. And he's going to be a leader and a dog. It's not even a leader in terms of he doesn't have to say anything all season. It's just like forget if he ever says anything encouraging to the team. It's the fact that in the ninth inning, down 7, he's going to make a diving play, and that he's going to he's going to do a Dustin Pedroia head first slide into first base or something like that. It's just going to be he's an all effort player, and that makes that matters. And so I that's a guy I love to root for, and very exciting. I didn't think they were going to make this move. I thought it was going to be one of those ones that just didn't work out, and you were going to be mad again. And then it's like they're not actually aggressive. They keep saying all this stuff, and we're still second fiddle to all these other teams. We lost out to the Tigers, or now we got to face them with the Blue Jays, or where the hell did the Cubs come from? We had so much time to sign them before the Cubs were even mentioned. But no, they got it done. And this was, John Henry's smoking cigars right now, and his wife posted on Instagram like that hasn't happened.
Crazy.
We haven't had a moment for John Henry in a while. That's we're over the luxury tax. I saw a tweet today that said we lost like the 55th pick, I think it was, and $500,000 in international bonus pool money from this. And I was like, we're back. Like I was excited because who doesn't do that? The A's don't lose that stuff. That's the Dodgers and the Mets and the Yankees, like we were talking about. When you see tweets that say, oh, they've been penalized for trying too hard, that's what I like to see.
My heart's a little happy, man. I just feel good. I just feel good. That lineup card does something to me. The luxury tax thing does something to me. That picture of John Henry smoking a cigar in front of the fireplace fucking did something to me. I mean, if you took us aside right after the World Series, if you went back in time, you're like, hey, let's just say they get Aroldis Chapman, Walker Buehler, Garrett Crochet, Alex Bregman. Would that do it? We would all be like, that is 4 very famous baseball names. I don't know. That feels almost like cartoonish. Like those are big names. I don't know. That's not realistic.
Dodgers?
Yeah, like that's the offseason of a team that's trying. The Red Sox, with this move, because they actually spent out of their pocket, it wasn't just a Crochet trade because they weren't willing to spend on Burns or blah, 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 blah. Actually opening the wallet did it. The Red Sox are, is it too aggressive to say?
No. It's not. I don't think it is.
It really feels like the Sox are back.
They're over the luxury tax. And they're
Sox
over the
might be
luxury
back.
tax with names. And they still were able to maintain 3 of their big 4 prospects. And they got rid of the one that was the most disposable, whatever. Throw them in the trash. Love Kyle Thiel. I say 2 things. 2 things that just hit me. The like excitement level, like a gauge type of deal. Nesson does their like Nesson report where they do those 30-minute segments. Like I used to always really like them because I'd be so excited about the season. My dad would always, have it on because he was excited about it. He, in recent years where I don't live with him, text me like, "Hey, that's on today. Did it today?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll watch it. Like whatever." And I did, and it was kind of like, I listened to some of it. Like it was quick. It's 30 minutes, and they had some stuff about Breslow. Talked about how if he's going to add a bat, it's going to have to be an impact bat. He's not just adding a guy that's just to sit in the right-hander's box, like not C.J. Cron this year. If they're going to add a reliever, it's going to be a reliever of note. It's not going to be a depth guy. They have depth. Those 2 quotes were cool, but otherwise it was like, I ripped on him a little bit, and he lost.
It's
episode.
Breslow being Breslow, saying Breslow shit.
But the bigger point is, I'm excited now to watch that little 30-minute segment like I used to be when I was a kid tomorrow because it's going to be a much different level. And we've talked about spring training, but it's kind of been one of those things where it's like, we'll probably go, but we haven't talked about it really since, haven't really done anything to get there. And now that's the idea of oh, look, that's in the backfields, you got, Bregman and Crochet going head to head and, just in a little sim game. There are people now that I want to, if you're looking for spring training, for me, for spring training, it's who do I want to see? And I'm not going to talk about the people that we've had for a while because I think you get of course, it'd be awesome to watch Devers hit or whatever, but we've seen it. He's there,
Who's your new shiny toys?
Yeah, the new toys. You got Crochet, Bueller. If Chapman wasn't an asshole, he might be in that list, but you don't really care. Just to be let's see a guy throw 103. You got Bregman, you got Anthony, Meyer, you got Campbell. Those are guys, there's a lot of people where it's hey, we got a lot of new stuff going on that's actually exciting. You go to spring training to see new because it's a new year, it's a fresh start. They've made changes. And you still want to see the people that have been there, but Duran would be awesome. But it's you're there to see what's different about this team. And there are a lot of things that are different but awesome. Liam Hendricks too. He's gonna be swearing in his bullpen session and doing his thing, and he's gonna have an Australian accent, and that's cool.
The whole time.
Almost always. And so. Yeah, I don't know. That's the excitement level is the highest I've felt about. Last year, opening day, I went. I think I did go. I think I went.
Yeah, we were there together. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even remember. It was one of those things.
Who was the opening day starter last year? Exactly.
No, I genuinely have no idea.
I think it might have been Bayo.
That would be crazy. Tanner Houck was like the 5 at that point, so we had no idea
We
what he
didn't
was
know Tanner
doing.
Houck had that in him.
He almost didn't make the rotation.
Was
He
it
wasn't
Nick
supposed
Pavetta?
to. That to me makes the most sense.
I think it might have
But
been
this is
Bayo, dude.
this is proving the point I'm trying to make is that like I
Yeah.
can't wait to go to opening day now. Like
Yeah.
I can't wait to go to a lot more games. I can't wait to get way more involved. I might actually enjoy doing this stupid little show we do. You know,
It
like
was Brian Bayo.
I still got to talk to Joey, but other than that, this might be kind of fun. Brian Bayo, that says a lot. That says a lot. Now, realistically, talent wise, he probably shouldn't be in the starting 5. He will be, but he
But
probably
it
shouldn't
wouldn't be the craziest thing if he got booted.
Yeah.
Let me say this, dude. So spring training, this is the best year to go to spring training this decade, easily. But okay, so for those of you maybe new to the show, or those of you who've forgotten, or those of you who have zoned out every time that I've told this story, or those of you who don't care and have to hear it again, I'm going to say it. But my story of like how I got here was that in 2021, when the Red Sox were good and fun and in the postseason, I was working for a company that was like making content, but like it wasn't reporting. It was just like, we're just making goofy content. Like, and so I made some vlogs for like the wild card game against the Yankees, and like did live streams for the ALCS and whatever. And that's how Steve found me. And that's how I started doing this. So, and then, you know, that next season when I started was the 2022 season, which means the only years that I've been covering this team officially as my job has been 2022, 23, and 24. I don't know if you've been paying attention. Bad years.
You probably haven't.
You probably haven't been paying attention. It's taken a lot for me to pay attention, and they give me money to do it. Scott, I said out loud to myself, maybe the saddest thing, with like almost tears in my eyes. I said, I get to cover a good team. Like we get to get on here and talk about I hope this ages well. They're going to be a good baseball team, man. They're going to be a good team. And we get to talk about a good fucking team. And it's more likely than not at this moment that we're going to be talking about October baseball.
It's crazy because like we're in the same boat because I graduated in 2021. So my first year was lockout right before I got hired February 2024, right before the 2022 season. So spring training, if there was a spring training then, spring training of 2022. And so I jumped in right at the bottom. I mean,
so we both started when like Trevor Story got signed.
Yeah, same season. Yeah, I was there. Trevor Story getting signed was like the first thing that happened after the lockout, and like I was already there for that. But when the that was. We started at the exact same time. I remember your first episode because I think I wrote something on your guys' because you had Cora, was it?
Yeah, we had Cora on the episode 1.
So I did like a aggregation of some kind on your first episode. So like we started at like the exact same time, basically. And it's been tough. It's been
awful. I mean, I goddamn fucking hope that we're not talking prematurely here, but at this moment, man, it'd be hard to convince me this team isn't going to be fucking good.
I agree.
And I'm so grateful to
the amount of times last year that we were like, let's just not talk about the team. Let's just talk about a movie or something. Like, let's talk about something that happened. I got a story. The amount of times that we were like, man, do I not want to do this right now on a Sunday night after another blowout loss. The amount of times that it was just like, what do we even say? Like,
and there were so many times that we would get on here and you'd be like, hey man, like, what do you want to talk about? And I'd be like, we'll just figure it out. We'll just figure it out. We'll just go. Like we'll just start talking, and I don't know. We'll
Make
talk
some
about
jokes.
Kenley blowing another game, and then we'll transition into something. We'll find something funny for 30 minutes, and then we'll do a pitching preview and get out of here. And I also can't help but think about like listenership and engagement and things when the team is good, and it's not because like God bless every single one of you who has listened to any single episode before this exact moment, because it's been a grind. It's been a grind to get here. And man, there are going to be, if you're a diehard who like for the past few years has been locked into the Boston Red Sox, one, my heart's with you. And two, there are going to be people showing up now. There are going to be fans, like casual sports fans in Boston, who are tuning into the Red Sox now. And it might take them a minute. They might still be like, oh, well, cheap. It's just one. Blah, 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 blah. Give it till June. They'll be here. And it's going to be a very different scene when Boston cares about the Red Sox again. But, I mean, the way everything's going, I'm basically, once Celtics season is over, once the Celtics go back-to-back and the Bruins are out and the Patriots suck.
Well, hey.
But
we got a coach, we got a quarterback, we got $110 million to spend. Patriots could be fun again.
Yeah, they also start in September. So when those dog days of summer
just
come,
saying, chill.
Yeah, so they could be okay. But when those dog days of summer are here, the Red Sox are going to run the town for a little bit. They're going to people are going to care. So get ready for that because they are coming. Alex Bregman. Alex, what's his middle name? I almost said third baseman. Alex, third baseman Bregman.
Second
Alexander David Bregman.
Yeah.
ADB. Do they have any nicknames listed for him on Breggy, A-Breg? I hate A-Breg. That's bad.
Breggy is something I've actually heard. No one's ever said A-Breg.
No one's ever said A-Breg. Breggy to Boston. Welcome to Boston, Alex Bregman. You got anything else you want to say? Because otherwise I'm going to just send the people over to the skeleton of our lost episode.
No, I think I covered it. Yeah, I think it was a lot of. It's going to be quite the transition because we were in a much different headspace then. It was again probably the last you're going to hear in a long time of us being like just. I don't know. They didn't really do much. Like, let's just talk about something else. Like, most of it was just us talking about the Super Bowl and us just like again, as we talked about, just finding something to fill the air.
If you guys need some nostalgia and want to remember, what was it like when we were miserable Red Sox fans?
What was it like pre-Bregman? If you can even remember that.
Yeah, if you can remember, this is what it was like, and this. So we're gonna play some of the still relevant stuff, which is mostly talk about. And Scott,
did they give him number 2?
I think they gotta.
Okay,
he's only ever wore 2.
But I mean, the Bogart, you don't retire Bogart's number, I guess. I don't know. Do you?
They already gave it to Justin Turner.
Forgot about that. You're right.
Yep.
Great point.
And they gave it to someone else after.
Last second.
Yep.
There was reports this week that they might just go with Justin Turner again. Like that's how bad it was. That's how bad it was.
Hold on, I want to get this correct because I'm pretty sure they gave it to somebody else last year. They gave it to Dom Smith.
Oh yeah, he was awesome, but that's a living legend. That one makes sense.
Yeah, so it's gonna go Xander, JT, Dom Smith, Bregman, presumably.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're gonna toss you back over to a world pre-Bregman, the Red Sox. Thanks for hanging out with Gus.
Gus,
I've been partying a little bit here. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. And now let's take a quick break to hear from our friends over at Prize Picks. Hit the ice this hockey season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. Prize Picks is the best way to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. When you sign up, get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that lead to big payouts like, Scott?
Taco Tuesday?
Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. Think Connor McDavid will get more than 0.5 goals next week? Will Austin Matthews hit more than 5 shots on goal? Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this hockey season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That is $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup with code CLNS. Prize Picks, run your game. Kenley Jansen is back in Los Angeles.
He was trying and he got it.
Just like he wanted. Welcome back to Anaheim, to the Angels. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim at California, Los Angeles County. That's so fucking funny, dude. There's not a funnier team that he could have gone to. That is so fucking funny. That's awful, man. Like, you grovel and beg and you attend the fucking World Series as a goddamn fan. You are a free agent and you're wearing a Dodgers hat. You quit on your team because you're like, I just want to be in LA. And you go there and you probably say, I'll take the minimum, please. You can defer for 11 years, please. And they say, how about you go across town? There's a team down the street that's looking for pitchers. How about you go there? There's a team down the street that sucks. Maybe you'd fit in there a little bit better, dude. We're trying to win a World Series over here. No, thank you. Awesome. I love that. I didn't realize how much hate in my heart I still had for Kenley Jansen until I saw it. And honestly, until I started this rant that I wasn't really expecting to go on. But, oh man, it just really bothered me. It really bothered me. We don't need to rehash the whole thing, but I'm sitting through watching these fucking games, asshole. You don't get to go home early. Quit on the team, dude. Quit on the team. Oh my God. There's no quicker way to get hit by your dad. Are you kidding me? Quit on the team? Ugh. I hate that shit so much. So enjoy Angel Stadium. They got that big helmet. That's going to be cool. They got anything else there? What's going on at Angel Stadium? They got some cool stuff.
They got like a tree scenario in the outfield.
Oh yeah. Helmet nachos. they got that. That's a staple.
Yep.
Oh, you can see the Honda Center where the Anaheim Ducks play.
Okay.
That's cool. What else do we got? This person said food selection kind of stinks. I usually bring my own food in.
That's not okay.
You get a great view of the trains if you sit in the 400s or 500s. I didn't know there were trains in California. That's cool. Nice.
You can get a picture with the World Series shrine from 2002. So he could do that at some point.
The top rated reply. That's something. The top rated reply on Reddit to a post that's asking must do's at Angel Stadium says, again, helmet nachos. Helmet nachos and cookie bucket. That's number one. That's the top rated one. The next biggest reply is there's not really anything you must do.
All right.
So I don't know. Enjoy it, Kenley. You jerk. Got him. The other thing that I have on my list here is the documentary. It has a date. I tweeted about how there was no date.
You did it.
And then conspicuously the next day, they were like, it's coming out April 8th.
They were like, all right, Joey, Jesus. Here's the
Mhm.
thing. We got a video too for you.
You what?
I'm saying they said, like, all right, Joey, like, we'll give you the thing with the video and everything. Here's Costas.
Yes.
Here's the name. We'll even give you the name since you're gonna.
I knew the name.
You're gonna be a clown about it.
We knew the name, but they were. I don't know. They were holding on to it, dude. Sometimes you got to pressure it out of people. Can I say something?
Yeah. You always ask that, but it's usually kind of the medium before that. But yeah, you're allowed to.
Right. Yeah. No. I just like having a lead in, just
Yeah,
to let the
I
people.
hear ya.
Maybe like the people turn the volume up. They're like, oh, is he going to say something big? Oh my
Yeah.
God, is he going to say something big? Oh, hot take coming.
Joey's turn.
Oh, Joey's going to talk. I can unmute.
And they know.
April 8th. Bad date. Bad date. I know I was bitching about, hey, come on, when is it coming out? April 8th is a bad date. It's the season. It has started. I had a hard time believing people were going to give a shit about following the team in general. And they were like, well, it's in the off season. Like, cause I thought like maybe it'll drop like right near the end of the year, you know, like they'll be editing it as they go, and then release them episodically. So it's like, 8 episodes or whatever, like 8 weeks to finish the final episode. You know what I mean? I was like, maybe they'll do it like that. And I was like, it's still like kind of asking a lot of people to like care right then. And then like it's later in the off season, it'll drop all at once. And I was like, ugh, I don't know if people are going to whatever. Now dropping in the middle of I'm going to have a hard time caring about last year. I mean, obviously I want to see it. There's going to be a ton of talking points, whatever, but like this was supposed to be a big talking point on this podcast this offseason.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's going to be like in the middle of a fucking series
preview
that we're like, oh, also let's talk about the fucking thing, or we're going to do like a bonus ep or something. I don't know. It's a lot.
It's dropping game 2 of a 4-game series against the Toronto Blue Jays.
It's a Blue Jays series?
Yeah.
That's going to matter. That's going to matter.
Yeah. Look, it's strange. I don't. The biggest thing is exactly what you said, which is it's going to be very hard to be 8 or so games into the season and then have to switch your brain. Like, are you going to watch a 3-hour baseball game and then go, wow, I need a break. Let's watch the Red Sox doc from last year.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like watch a show about like an episode where they feature Nick Pivetta or something and he's not here, or they're talking about how they just don't have enough pitching 2 hours after you watch Garrett Crochet strike out 12. Like it's going to be almost confusing in my head, when I'm watching the trials and tribulations of Tristan Casas' injuries. After I watched him hit a home run 3 hours ago, it's a strange thing. It's just like, who cares now? Like, there was a point where I was extremely interested in that. Honestly, even now I'm at the point where I'm ready to move on. I know production-wise this wouldn't have been possible, but a November release would have been like what we're looking for. And given the fact that they gave up in July, that maybe should have been possible. But where they weren't going anywhere, and it was clear, like, I wish they had earlier the better.
New Year's is realistic.
Certainly. I mean, but even by that point, yeah, I guess I still would have been in tune. Now I'm ready. I'm watching videos. I'm already at the point where if it was released today, I'd be like, I'm already on to this year. I'm worried. I want to see what Crochet is, how he looks. I'm looking at Liam Hendricks throwing. I'm trying to figure out what, we're talking about who's going to be the closer, what Garrett Whitlock's role. Like, that's where my brain is. And we're going to have to now go back to the point when Casas took a bad swing in Pittsburgh and he's out for a while. Like, I don't know.
I think also like the thing is this year and past few have been so focused on the future, and especially like this spring training. Like there's question like, could Roman Anthony make the opening day roster? And like watching those kids, watching those top guys in spring training games. like that's thinking about the second half of 2025. That's thinking about 2026. To start thinking about 24 is like it's just the exact opposite direction. Like, let alone being in the present, going to the past. We're talking about the future and turning all the way around and looking to the past. It's going to be hard. I think once we see the first like 5-10 minutes and realize how much access they had and like what we're seeing them do, I think it'll be very cool. I don't think it's going to be about the games at all. I think it's going to be about the players and the hot mics and the whatever. But again, I hate to be a hater. Watching the little trailer they dropped, it's like I'm not a big trailer guy because I'm like, oh, well, just put, a lot of times the trailer's better than the movie,
I don't want to spoil it. That's my thing.
Right. Exactly. I don't watch trailers because I don't want to spoil a movie.
The comedy has the best jokes in those trailers. Yeah.
But something like this, it's like, well, tease the big moments. Like I want to learn the context of some things. And I was kind of like, is this the best things that I don't know. And it's not the fault of the filmmakers. I mean, it might just be like kind of what it was. If your source material is what it is, then that's just kind of what it is. But I don't know. I've been very excited for this. I'm going to obviously watch it like the second it drops. But
I really like the guy that made it.
Me too.
Greg.
Yeah, like our buddy Greg.
He Last Chance U is some of my favorite stuff on Netflix. But again, they dropped it in July for like the football stuff came out in July. Yep. And it was like right before we were getting into football season. So you finish it and then OTAs start. And it's like perfect. They screwed this up. And it does seem like there were some problems beyond, like this didn't go as planned compared to, I'm sure none of them go perfectly as planned, but like the fact that they were done after the All-Star break is telling. Like there was something clearly, they ran out of money. Like I don't understand what happened with this production, but there were issues.
Certainly. And I think it was like that from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think it was, it's the first time doing this. So, honestly, I'm fine with the Red Sox being like the trial and error season, especially if it was, the 2024 Red Sox to just like pop in and be like, hey, we got to learn how to do this. So, cause we're covering the Dodgers in a year or two. So we're just going to use you guys as the guinea pig. That's okay. I'm excited to see it. Even though, circumstances are what they are. You have any thoughts you want to empty out of that brain, dude?
No.
Perfect. All right. Well, we will be back next week. Maybe.
Oh, I got
just
one.
Maybe. Oh yeah. What's up, dude? Perfect timing.
I got one. Yeah. Thanks.
Unbelievable.
I have a story. You're gonna like it. So before the SI party, I went to this thing. It was Lee Stanberg's party. Lee Stanberg is the guy that they made Jerry Maguire about. So this guy, Tom Cruise just played him in a movie, big super agent, whatever. He had this charitable event where I was going as media to cover it. But I just kind of got invited. It was kind of unclear what was going on. And the one thing they did mention was there was like this lounge area for talent and media. But he's like, you have access to this too, even though it's mostly for it was like, you guys also can do this. And I thought it was going to be just like they said there was a gift bag. And so I was like not elated to be at this thing.
Sure.
I get there, they give me the list of talent. It's Brett Favre, Drew Brees, Sean Payton, Tommy DeVito was actually there when I was there, the Giants quarterback.
Weird.
The running back, Tracy, I forget his first name. He was there. Tyrone Tracy, he's actually a good player. But Dr. Dre, there was some legit names at this thing that we had no idea we're going to be there, and we were just we saw in the past. Johnny Damon was there in the past, and so like we saw there were real people there. But man, like some of the Des Bryant, like some real names, and so we get there, we get this list of talent, and we're like, wow, this is insane. And then we were at a point where we were watching the red carpet. There's really nothing for us to do, and we were debating going home. And we ran into the guy that emailed me and was like, "By the way, did you check out the lounge yet?" And I'm like, we're walking around, but like no." And we almost missed this thing, and we get to this area, and they go, "Okay, like this girl's." Me and Steve are together, me and Mott's,
Yeah.
and they give us like two separate. They call them handlers, and I'm like, "Do we really need two different people to like show us around? Like, what is this going to be?" And basically inside, and we had no idea. And so this girl, before she writes down my name and like my affiliation on this board, and I'm like, I was like, what is this for? Like, what could this? I was like, do they really need like to remember my name? Like, I think she's got it. And so she
Yeah.
has this big board and then a big duffel bag, and it gives it to this girl that's like 100 pounds, and I have no idea what's going on. So she says something about I'm going to go on a trip to Fiji and Turks and Caicos, and at this point I'm thinking, oh, this is like a themed lounge thing. Hands me a voucher for trips to these places, and I'm like,
What?
what is happening? Like 3-4 night stays in like a villa that's like 4 bedrooms. I'm like, what is happening? And I'll tell you what happened after, but not after the show, but I got to get through it in order. So I'm
Sure.
getting this, and I'm like, again, I react like thinking it's gonna be a theme thing. So I go, oh, okay. No reaction to the fact that they gave this generous gift because I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
And then we get into the room, and immediately she's like, okay, stand. And there's like a like not a red carpet, but like one of those like posters, like to like you would like like there was a red carpet outside. You saw that on my Instagram, but like there
Yeah.
was like this back wall, and so they start taking pictures of me, and she's on the side holding this thing, and it's so that when the photographer does like the Getty Images type of thing, they can say this
Oh,
is Scott, because the photographers don't necessarily know who Tommy DeVito is or whatever. They're just there to take pictures. But when they
right.
upload them, that way in the frame they have the name of the person. They can cut that part and make it. That's why you see vertical images on red carpets.
Yeah.
And I've never been introduced to this world. I'm like, why are they taking pictures of me? The people in there are all from different companies that are trying to promote their products. And as I told you, there's Brett Favre there. There's meaningful people. Drew Brees was there. I don't know. I forgot that name. So those kind of people are in there, and getting free stuff. And they're going in these companies who are in tech or whatever, don't know necessarily who's who, are giving products to people and then being like, will you take a picture of me? So I get in there, I do a photo shoot, like a very brief one. And I'm like, why is anyone taking a picture of me? This doesn't matter. I'm supposed to be on the other
Right.
side of this. I get to it, and then they're like, okay, now go meet. This girl, this handler, walks me over to another person, and he's explaining his product to me. And again, no one tells me what we're doing. So I'm just
What?
like, is this whatever? Like, I have no idea what's
Are you
happening.
thinking like, oh, this is another gift I'm getting?
I'm thinking, I don't know if they want me to collab. Like, I thought they wanted me to like partner with them in some way, or buy something or whatever. And then he asked me to take a picture with him. And then I'm taking a picture with this guy that I don't know what he's even selling. He gives me like a brief description of what each company does. And then they're like, oh, can you actually, like, I had like a water in my hand, whatever. They're like, can you put that down and like hold the product, and we'll take a picture with you holding the product? Again, don't know the difference between me and Drew Brees. That became very clear that they just were like, anyone here could be
Right.
anybody. And it's true because they were Olympians, they were professional athletes, active and former, and actors and comedians and whatever. And so I'm taking these things, and they did give me the products. And like, there was a
What?
sandwich shop, Ike's, I think it was called, and they gave me $1,000 gift card to this place, and
What?
like and these skin products, like these very high end skin products that were like hundreds of dollars, and they're like, yeah, try these, like whatever. This cologne company gives me a bag of cologne stuff, and like all this different stuff, and I'm going around, and I just like go through this whirlwind, and they're taking pictures of me. There's like B-roll people taking pictures and videos just as you're like someone's describing their product, you're just walking around. And like it was so apparent that they just didn't know who. But it was funny because I had this handler, this little woman people would just hand me stuff, and then they'd be like, okay, you got to go now meet this person. And I'd take a different picture. So I'm like, okay, here, like she had to like hold it. And by the end, it's like a 30-pound like duffel bag, and I'm like, they're having me try this crab cake thing, take a bite of it, and I'm like, yeah, this is great. And then I like am holding this and like, we'll just now we got to throw it away, go to the next picture. It was the craziest thing I've ever been a part of.
That's
They,
bananas.
dude, one of the funniest things is I gotta get this girl's name, Jordan.
This is so
Yeah,
funny that these folks just no idea who you are, but they're like, oh, he's got to be important.
yeah. Okay, so I don't know how to say her name. Hold on, let me see if I can get the pronunciation here.
There's no way.
Oh, this says Dunchills, Jordan Dunchills, but it's spelled like chilies. Giles. There was an Olympian.
Sure.
She was on the U.S. Olympic team, like with Simone Biles, won medals.
Uh-huh.
She was there, and she was right before me for this one station, and it was a lady trying to it was trying to get you to tell your story, and she wanted to write a book, like ghostwrite. Her company was going to ghostwrite a book about your life, like tell your story. So like if she wanted to write a book about her life, she could like have they would actually write it, and she would just like meet with that. You know how that works. Like you've
Sure.
seen it with all the professional athletes, and they offered that to her, and she's an Olympian, and that makes sense. And then
Right.
they're asking
Right.
me, and they're like, "Do you want to do this right after?" And I'm like, I know anything you want to do. Like I was like, I don't have like much of a story here, and also I'm 25. Like I'm on chapter like 2. Like what are we gonna do?
Well, I'll tell you, Jordan Childs is 23.
But she's been in the Olympics twice.
Yeah, she's won medals. Yeah, she's won
Yeah,
medals.
and again, she probably wants to do it at the end of her career too. But she like signed up for it, and it was also funny because like the way they did it was like if you're interested, just like sign, and like you just signed because obviously she put like
Sure.
her personal email, and it was just
Yeah.
funny because I'm like I shouldn't even be able to see that, but I just was
Yeah.
the next person, and I like it wasn't like a Jordan at X agency. It was like her
Yeah.
Gmail, and I'll never forget it. Like I remember it right now, and I was like, I have that now in the bank.
That's so funny to be like, I
And
shouldn't know that.
yeah, and it was just like funny, like to see like Tommy DeVito go in front of me and be what who could be the starting quarterback of the Giants next year. They'll draft somebody, but like he has been started in the NFL. He's actively in the NFL. Like right,
Yeah.
he went in. He was leaving as I was coming in, and watching him go, and like he's just used to this. And I was just like, what is happening? Like, and they did it for
Do you
months
think you were
too.
giving off the vibe that like you didn't belong there?
No, I actually think I murdered it. I think I killed it.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah, I was shaking hands. I knew what I was doing. And I was very blunt about the fact that I was just like, yeah, like I appreciate, like I have this company, but like I'm not really like these people are like influencers, whether they're athletes, they have a following, whatever. So yeah, that was one of the funniest things I've been coolest experience I've ever had because I was complaining earlier. I was like, we don't really have a role at this event, and then that happens, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then we go back out there, and they're like, "You want to grab a drink?" And there was so many bars everywhere, and I'm like, "Well, we're media, we're not supposed to." And then like, they're like, "You want to grab a drink?" And like after that, I was like, I guess I'm the same as Drew Brees. Like he's gonna drink today. Like Brett
Yeah.
Favre's giving a speech, he's having a good time. Like it was one of the coolest venues ever. It was outside and inside. It
Wow.
was at this jazz museum, but like the outside, like they did this whole thing and outdoor bar. It was
I did
crazy.
see that. I did see that on the IG story.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So that
definitely the
was
place where you were.
yes, yes. And I called our other college roommate, told him about our experience, and he's home and wants to go to the Super Bowl and can't. And I believe he was shoveling when I called him, snow,
Nice.
and
Very
he was like,
nice.
"That's cool, man. I gotta go back to this." So
That's awesome. I love that. I love the idea of people approaching you being like, I don't know sports. Hey, oh my gosh, it's an honor to meet you.
someone behind holding a name thing, being like,
Yeah.
Scott, Sports Illustrated. How you doing, man?
Oh, you're the guy who owns Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's what I
Yes.
mean. Like it was like, oh, well, hold on. I mean, you sure you want to give me all that because Des Bryant's right behind me, and he'll need some.
I
Like,
like the idea of running interference for yourself and being like, no, go over there. You want him.
yeah, It was. I mean, there was a few where I just did whatever. But when she was like, we should write a book about you," I was like, "That's the line."
I'm
Also,
gonna stop you right there.
low key, very funny.
Mhm.
About that is she was like, "You ever like?" She was like, "You ever want to tell your story, but like you really, you feel like you need like help? Like, what do you do?" And I was like, "I'm a professional writer." And she was like, "Right." She was
Yeah.
like, "But this is like a different kind of writing." I was like, "I think I could do it."
Is it
But like,
English? Is it a QWERTY
yeah.
keyboard? Yeah.
I was like, I understand the formatting is a little different than an article, but I gotta say, if you're giving me a skill, I gotta do something. I feel like I could do it. I
The
probably
one
could do
thing
it.
that you shouldn't pay somebody else to do would probably
Yeah,
be that.
that's
Yeah.
that's the thing I don't have to outsource. But according to her arbitrary number, that was a $40,000 value that she offered me.
$40,000 book? Who the hell is going to buy a
No,
$40,000
no,
book? I know,
no,
I
no.
know, I know, I
Yeah,
know, I know, I know. It was a joke. They make one copy and price it at $40,000.
you know what else was funny too is like Mott's did the same thing, which is even more hilarious if you know the behind the scenes. Like that's just a guy that works for the guy. That
He's
like
oh my
even
god, yeah,
lower.
him, yeah.
And he got the Fiji trip and everything. Like he whatever. But it was fun. There were a
Fuck.
couple. Yeah, there were a couple of things where like in the room, I was like, dude, I was like, what about the sandwich guy that gave me like $1,000 gift card? What about that? And he was like, I didn't get that. I was like, oh. And then he said something about like the book, and I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that was a cool. Like they gave you like a book of like what the offer was, and like it had like at the last half it was like telling you what the offer was, and then the back half was like empty pages, and she was like, if you have ideas, like jot them down, and then when we meet we'll have a way to structure the story. That was her like idea with it. And I was like, yeah. I was like going through the duffel bag, and he's like, I didn't get a book. And I was like, you didn't get a book? He was like, no. And I was like, it's weird. It's strange.
Damn, well, if you're looking for somebody to like, I don't know, hang out with in Fiji or something, if you want somebody to carry a duffel bag around for you in Fiji, just like,
I already got Tammy the handler for that.
yeah, well, maybe not like carry the duffel, maybe just like, I don't know, enjoy the views or whatever. I don't know how to swim, but
I don't know for sure I'm gonna do the Fiji one.
is it one or the other?
No, it's both. But hear me out, dude. And I know this might sound absurd because
Yeah.
it's free, but dude, Fiji is like a day away. Did you know that?
I know it's in like the South Pacific. Yeah.
Like it's 24 hours. Like the closest. I don't know what part this one is at. It's 22 hours to like over a day. And I don't know if there's a place in the world that we go see for a 48-hour round trip in a plane.
Probably Fiji.
I don't
Think of the
know.
water, dude. Think of the water there.
Yeah, it'd be blue.
That's where they make the water, man.
It seems. Oh, it's a good point. But I
Yeah,
would
it'd be
need.
blue. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that too.
I need it to be like. I need a bed there. I don't know. I was thinking about it. I just think about 24 hours ago to now and how much time has passed to be just in a plane.
What do you mean?
Like when I was talking
It's
about it,
yeah.
I at that point I was actually on a plane when I was debating this, going back from New Orleans to Boston, and I was like 24 hours ago, we were getting dressed for going to the Super Bowl. We got dressed. We went to the Super Bowl, which was like 3 to 9, 2 to 9, whatever it was. And then
Yeah.
we walked back like 30 minutes. We got we took a break. I think I showered. We went back out onto Bourbon for like a little bit. And then we came back, had a full night's sleep, went to the airport, had like 2 hours of delays, and then we're back on the plane. And it was like, that was what we did in this time frame. Imagine sitting in this chair for that whole time instead. Is that really worth 3 to 4 days?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, on a plane like that, you have more room. You can get a lot of stuff done. You have Wi-Fi. You get full meals. You take a sleep. You watch a movie. You take a dump, and you're there.
Not a movie. Like 8 movies.
Well, I also put in a full work day in there too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to. For me, it seems like it's really hard to get things done. Maybe if it's like I would need a
Then I'll
lot
take
of
the
rooms.
Fiji tickets if you don't want them.
It might be that situation. I don't know. I want to go to Fiji, but I don't know if I can handle that.
Oh yeah, no. You know what? Actually, the more I think about it, you probably can't handle it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll get rid of them for you.
I don't know. There is like a weird rule about like if you can transfer them,
Mhm.
which I don't get how that helps them with their influencer campaign of any kind.
Sure doesn't. Yeah.
But they like if I transfer it, you have to stay like an extra 3 days or something and like pay
Oh
for
no.
it. You pay for them.
Oh, we'll see.
That's very specific just about transfers. They were like, if you transfer this, they have to stay 3 more days or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Well, next episode will be live from the island of. Is it just one island called Fiji? It's probably a whole bunch of islands, right? It's probably an archipelago.
Yes. Oh, look at you. I could do Turks and Caicos. That's like not that far. It's like 7 hours or something. That's just down.
Is it?
Pretty much. Like
Dominican Fiji's
area.
A bunch of islands. 300. More than 300 islands is Fiji.
Okay, I don't know which one it is.
It's an archipelago. Yeah. There's also an island called Fiji, though, and then there's the Republic of Fiji, which is the 300 islands. So you got to assume that's the main one. There's always, we'll figure it out. I'll tell you all about it when I get back. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Long one, weird one, fun one. NOLA one. Whatever. You can follow us on the socials at ITM_pod. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. You can follow him at Scott Neville 46. Just like the total travel hours that I will spend in the air getting to and from the island of.
It's more than that.
Vanuatu. I will catch you there. Mahalo. Go Sox, kid.